Good morning. Here we are for World Peace Wednesdays. I am so happy that to be back, actually. I have this scheduled, honestly, for every single Wednesday morning. And the last few weeks, I have either not been home or not been in a place to do this live without it being in a situation that didn't support it. So I'm back. And so, excuse the intermittency of it, but I was just away helping family move, and hard to do World Peace Wednesdays from a house that's in transition and moving. So, anyway, we're here now, and that's the important thing. And thank you for joining me, whether it's going to be live in the moment or whether you're watching this replay. All of our replays for the World Peace Wednesdays are archived on our YouTube station. And when you click on this link the link for this event in Facebook, then you will actually see the YouTube link that Paul's put up there, so that all of these World Peace Wednesdays and other things that we're doing, but the World Peace Wednesdays are on our revamped page for our YouTube. So you can always watch them there. And you can go there whether or not it didn't have to be current. The point is you can go back there and receive the blessing, receive the gift of the universal sphere anytime. So if you're ever feeling like you need a boost, you need a lift, you can come back to those replays and follow along and receive the gift of the universal sphere at any time. And that's why we've archived them. So, there's been a lot going on in the last week. I'm not just talking about personally in my life. I'm just saying in the world, and particularly in the United States. As many of you may be aware, there have been some more shootings. And these are so tragic on so many levels. And this isn't about the politics of guns or no guns. This is the reality of the stress that people are feeling, and whether or not people are getting the resources that they need to support them in feeling happy and healthy. I mean, there's so much. It's a big conversation, right? But what happens for those of us who care, which I believe it's everyone, we care, we feel the energy of what's gone on. We feel the energy of the loss. We feel the energy of the shock. We feel the energy even of the fear. I've had some people reach out to me since then saying they're starting to feel afraid of going to public places. And this is a reality for a lot of people as they witness it. And then there's the effect on the people who actually have been directly impacted by it, whether they were there in the moment of the experience or whether they had family or friends or relatives. That 6 degrees of separation is really true. Sometimes I think it's less than that, where we're never very far from being directly connected to the people who have been impacted in those events. But aside from that, the energy of what happens here ripples through the collective. It's not an isolated incident that we say, well, I'm on the other side of the country or I'm in a different part of the world. The energy of this ripples through the collective, so we feel it. And again, we care. So one of the biggest contributions we can be for our world and for ourselves is, again, creating, and I know I've said this before, but creating ourselves as the strongest vortex of peace that we can be. Because if upsetting things ripple through the collective, the places where we feel strong, empowered, clear, centered in and anchored in peace within ourselves as much as we can, that ripples through the collective as well. all that we do ripples through the collective. So what is it that we'd like to experience more of? What is it that we're seeking? What are we hoping for ourselves and our humanity and our children and our grandchildren and, you know, 7 generations out, as is often said? What are we desiring for that experience? And let's create that vortex of what we desire in the world, in our own space, in our mind, in our body, in our emotions, and then allowing that to ripple out into the collective and to emanate out. To me, this feels like the biggest place of empowerment that we have right now is really seeing that we have a choice in a moment. We can still be upset. We can feel very disheartened. We can feel activated. We could feel like we need to get out and take a stand against whatever it is that we want to take a stand against. We can feel that, and we can also do it from a place anchored in peace and not adding to agitation and upset. Have you ever been around somebody who is very clear, very empowered, very peaceful, very centered in the moment, where there could be a lot of upset, there could be a lot of agitation around them, and they're that pillar of peace? And what happens in that situation is they really command the space. People will listen when you are emanating that peace. Somebody who, in, say, a catastrophe, who's anchored in that peace and the clarity, really knows how to maneuver, knows how to move forward. They're not caught in the energy of the chaos. They have this field that is so compelling and so powerful that it really can set the tone for everyone else. And I'm sure some of you have had experience where there's that one person setting the tone and everyone else can then entrain to that. So what tone do you want to set for your life and your world and for your view of the world? And how can you anchor that inside of you today? And that's what we're going to work on with our universal sphere. So thank you for those of you who have joined, and I appreciate you being here. And so what I want to do right now is spend just a couple of moments channeling Ishara. Ishara is a non-physical, wonderful being who, non-physical meaning she doesn't have a physical form, but in my world, she's just as real as anyone else. She is the one who came through at the end of 2011, so almost 8 years ago, and one evening taught a group of us the universal sphere. And since then, the universal sphere has grown to be so significant. There's so many people in different parts of the world even who've learned the universal sphere and are working at generating and entraining that universal connection and all the wonderful experiences of life that come with it. So we teach people how to do the universal sphere. We have other people teaching people around the world to do the universal sphere. So she came through, Ishara came through in December of 2011 and brought the universal sphere to us. But since then, she's really become a teacher and a guide to support us in our ascension process. So my relationship with her has just only deepened and widened. It's just become so powerful. And she shares knowledge and wisdom all the time. So I'm going to just share a little bit from her this morning. And then I'm going to, while I'm in the state of being connected with Ishara, I will gift a universal sphere out to the group. And it's going to be focused perhaps on what I've just talked about. But once I begin channeling Ishara, she sort of has the floor, so she gets to do what she wants. It's always great. So I invite you right now to just close your eyes and center in to yourself. It's always so important to do that. It's easy in the world to focus on all the external tasks, the external needs of the day, what's going on in the world, and everyone else, and what they're doing and what they're not doing. And yet, we are here having our experience. So it's really important to keep bringing yourself back to you, making sure you're deeply embodied so that you can be radiant, so that your light can shine as powerfully into the world as possible. And we do that very simply by just continually drawing our attention back to ourselves. So let's just close our eyes down for a moment. And breathe in deeply and fully. It so quickly anchors you into your body. As you do this and allow the other things that are capturing your mind and your attention to fall away, because you're focused here, just on you, just for a few moments. You can pick those other things up in a moment. They'll still be there waiting for you. And as you are breathing deeply and centering yourself within your physical body, within your incarnated experience, I'm going to just take a moment to tune in more deeply to Ishtara and then begin channeling her message. Greetings, great beings of light. My name is Ishtara. And we gather in this moment to begin to really move into this place of expanding awareness that what you are seeking in your life is possible for you. And while there's a big pause after that, because there's a moment to think about that, what are the things that you're seeking in your life? And the fact that you can think about it and have a desire towards it means that it's possible. And even the things that you think are impossible. And the reason is because your soul is going to be resonating with certain experiences that you are the perfect match for in your incarnated experiences. And other people are a perfect match for what their soul is choosing to express in the world. So not everyone's the same. Isn't that interesting? And isn't that fun? It would be a little boring if everyone wanted and desired the same thing. There would be no variety. So breathing in the possibility that what you desire is within your field of possibilities. Because when you live and exist in a unified field, it means all that you can think about is within your field of possibilities. And a whole lot more, but you're not desiring those things. So you don't need to worry about the things that are possible within the field of infinite possibilities that you don't even desire. Those are there for somebody else to do or experience or express. And so when you think about the world you'd like to live in, meaning your experience of the world, whether it's within your family, your friends, your work environment, or the world as you see it in that global sense. Open up to the fact that all that you desire is possible. That world where people are kind to each other, the world where there's understanding. The world where there's compassion and humanity prevails, the world where respect is paramount. It's all possible. And this isn't about putting rose-colored glasses on. This is about the fact from a very esoteric scientific point of view, and this isn't the scientific that has been documented, but it's actually embedded into the fabric of consciousness that you cannot possibly think of anything that's not possible. So open up your awareness to what I desire is possible, even if I haven't experienced it yet, or even if I don't see the evidence of it yet. I'm going to open up to, oh, it's possible. And when you open up to the energy of possibility, what you're doing is moving past the conclusions that you're drawing from the evidence you see around you. You could say, Ishtara, but look at these terrible things that are happening in my life, or look at these hard things that I see happening in the world. There's too much evidence of that. And there can be a lot of evidence of that. And yet sitting within that same space of the unified field, it's an infinite field of consciousness and possibility. In the unified field, the possibility exists for all that you desire. So as soon as you begin to open up to that being a real possibility, you are magnetizing to you greater experiences of that as a possibility. And then if you're looking for experiences of kindness, of humanitarianism, of love, of peace, of gentleness, of understanding, if you're looking for that and if you're seeking that and you're desiring it, find it in your world. Every single day, there are those experiences of kindness, of peace, of humanitarianism. Does it mean that maybe you need to not pay attention and look at certain things? Absolutely. For if what you're paying attention to expands, what would you want to expand? And expand it. So it's been said before, but then I'm not paying attention to what's really happening in the world. Well, there is a slice of upsetting things that is really happening in the world. But at the same time, what's really happening in the world are really great and amazing things too. It just may not be filtered by your media the same way, correct? People don't tend to get as activated. Humanity doesn't get as activated about the really good things because it's what they expect. So they tend to pay more attention to the upsetting things. And as they pay more attention to the upsetting things because it's so shocking, and then get worked up about how shocking and upsetting it is, you're expanding that experience. But sitting right next to it are just these beautiful, gentle things that you expect to be happening, like kindness and love and respect. So pay attention to those and they expand. And you can pay attention to them in your vibrational field first. Meaning in your life, where are these beautiful experiences happening? And how can you create and co-create moments of things that you desire to see more of in the world? If you desire to see more generosity and kindness and humanity, can you be the creator of that in your world? And it can be as simple as opening the door for somebody. It can be as simple as assisting somebody who needs help putting their groceries in their car. This is kindness, this is humanity in action that doesn't require a global movement to have a global impact, because every single thought, every single word, all of it ripples through the fabric of human consciousness. So open up to this energy of all that you desire really being possible. If you look for it, you can find it. And you can find this even if all your wounds aren't healed. Even if you've experienced trauma and upset, even if you're in the middle of it right now, you have a possibility of still growing and expanding into what your heart desires. Your heart is that voice of your connection to your innermost self, that part of you that's eternally connected to the divine. So closing your eyes down, and we begin with this working with the universal sphere energies now. Opening yourself up to the fact that you are an essential element within that unified field. You're part of what makes it complete. The essence of who you are is a fractal piece of the totality. So feel yourself dropping into a more open, energetic space. Open your mind and your awareness that this human experience is happening within a field of infinite possibilities. And the moments where there's silence are moments where there's a greater opening and a greater connection to the field of infinite possibilities. And what happens within the field of infinite possibilities is the place where there is a solution to everything. Opening yourself up and receiving this beautiful infusion of the universal sphere. That moves through all aspects of your physical body, moves through all aspects of your energetic system, all of your energy bodies. For that is how you are seen from the view of the non-physical realms, as not just the human experience in the physical body, but the physical body and all the energy bodies that go with it. That's the reality of who you are. Allow your breathing to be very full and complete right now. Opening up to more possibility than you ever knew existed. And opening up yourself up to the anchoring and energy of unshakable peace within you. A peace that can exist in a very transcendent way. Peace can exist in the face of adversity, and it can begin to shift the energy of adversity by silently radiating that peace through every experience within its field. And as you anchor peace within you, you anchor the possibility of peace wherever you go. Trusting in yourself that you're in the right place at the right time. and the gift of who you are is so unique and so required in any moment, any place where you are. Anchor yourself in that awareness of peace, transcendent peace that requires no action. It's a vibration that emanates from you, just like a radio signal or even Wi-Fi. It can be there and you may not be aware of it, but it's there. And notice how you're feeling. Feel peace anchored in you. Feel it as a central, energetic cord running through you. Peace, the vibration of peace can be chosen. And now take a nice breath in for yourself. Noticing how you feel in this moment. Noticing if you'd like to choose to anchor yourself into this experience and move through your day or your evening, holding this vibration very close and dear and sacred to you. And now take a breath in and return to the space you find yourself in, whether you're listening live or whether you are watching this replay. How are you feeling? What did you notice? What came up for you? Thank you for all of you who are here live. And if you want to type in a comment about how you're feeling or what you experienced in that or what resonated with you, or if you have any questions, I'm happy to stay on here for a few minutes to respond to anything that you would like to share. And anyway, I mentioned this in the beginning, and I know not everyone was on here then. All of the World Peace Wednesdays are archived on a YouTube station. And so on the link to this on Facebook, you'll find the link to the YouTube. So please feel free to go back to those at any time. The beautiful thing about the Universal Sphere experiences and the beautiful thing about this energy field that I work in, and many, many people do as well, is it absolutely works outside of time and space. So clearly we don't need to be in the room together. And clearly it's just as impactful whether you're listening to this tomorrow or a month from now or a year from now. If you tap in, this energy is transcendent. So if you enjoy any of these World Peace Wednesdays, you can go back anytime you want a little shot in the arm, when you want to feel a little bit better or you want to connect with something that's been said. You can come back and receive that experience again. And it's literally just as powerful as it was when it was happening live. So I'm not seeing any questions or anything come in. And so thank you so much for being here. I hope you have an incredible day and a credible balance of your week. And, peace is possible. I really believe that. And I also know and believe that peace is possible in my world as I anchor it in mine. And I'm literally working on that every single day. Some days I'm really good at it, and some days I'm really not very good at it. But, this is what life is about, a constant striving. I've given up the need to be perfect all the time And it's just really honoring myself for the effort I put in and the constancy of the vision that I have, and always striving towards that. And I wish the same for you. Be nice to yourself, allow yourself to be in process. We're all going to have good days and bad, but overall, we're all on a really good trajectory for having and living the best life possible. Honor yourself for always doing the best you can, knowing that you can make a choice to do it differently if it's something that you're not feeling comfortable with. I love you all, and take care. Have a wonderful day.